Hi everyone, this is Jax from CryptoExplorer Pro. You guys may know me from running the Discord channel. Today, this is basically going to be an intro to our AMA with the by Vinci team discussing their NFT marketplace.
My name is Oscar van Velsen. I'm from the Netherlands. I'm a software engineer and currently head of product vertical, the marketplace, and one of the co-founders of the project. And I'll give the floor to Alex then.
Yeah, thanks. So yeah, my name's Alex. I am the cultural manager / acquisition manager of Vinci. Basically, what I am doing is responsible of all the processes of acquiring all of the artists, similar to sales, seeing through which partnerships we want to handle through. So up to record labels, exhibitions, events, festivals, because this is something obviously that we're targeting, and obviously handling the go-to market for each of the NFTs that we're planning to release as well. And I will give it out to Luke now.
So yes, I'm the Chief Technology Officer, Luke. I represent a team of 9 engineers that work together to deliver to both product and culture departments what they need to get this project going. And do you want more information on the rest of the team or just us, Tom?
Sure. If there's any sort of big names in there, feel free to chuck them out. Or if there's just anyone.
Well, let's start off with the biggest one, Tobias Duschel. He is the new CEO of Vinci. He is a ex-Tesla global director, and he's taken the reins now at Vinci, and he has a PhD in economics, I believe, and he will be. He'll basically be in charge of executive officer, and then underneath that is now going to be the old CEO Brett, who is going to be focused on the crypto community and on the partnerships. And he is also from the Netherlands, and Tobias is, by the way, from Germany, but he lives in LA. I'm also from the Netherlands, but I live in Ireland. So we are a very international group of people, but most of us have either a Dutch or a Danish background.
Okay.
And then other than that, I also have to mention, of course, our designer Nick and our CMO Jonas, and after all, the head of culture Peter. And all of those are on our website for more details. But all of them have extensive work experience working for, our designer, for instance, worked for Heineken and Pepsi, and our how's it called? Well, I don't know if the others. Do you guys know the other guys? I mean, I know Peter has had many companies as well in the event world in Amsterdam.
Yeah, I mean, most of us, and even including Oscar here, as part of the product, we're all with a huge background of events and festivals and in the music industry in itself. So this is something we plow ourselves for. With lots of experience, lots of networking possibilities, so that we can really bring the best leads and prospects into our platform.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, it sounds good. It sounds like you've got a big team. We obviously see a lot of teams setting up with just 2-3 guys, and they find it very hard to sort of get themselves in front by raising capital, building a big enough team that actually can pull off the sort of mission of the project. So yeah, it's good. It's good to hear. I don't know who this is more targeted for, this question, but what do you want to explain the platform?
Yeah,
what the core product is.
Sure. So right now we're looking at two products that have gone live, and we have an initial version of them going. Of course, these are minimal viable products because we're doing it the software engineering approach, where you start as small as you can and you build from there. So what we have been able to launch is, on the one place, the NFT Marketplace, and on the other side, the Vinci staking system. So when we're talking about the NFT Marketplace, we don't just want to build NFTs for the sake of having an NFT. We definitely don't want to have an NFT that is simply just a picture and that's it. We always want to add utility to it, and we want to bring the real world, and especially offline events, into the crypto atmosphere. And this is also why we believe that the current NFTs that you see and the sales are reducing on those, and we think that is great, because we don't want to sell things that have no value. We want things with real underlying value, and use this new technology to sell it and to give people real ownership of it. And this is not just for events. So there's one of them I just called, right? Events, tickets, events. But the other side is also downloadable music, right? That you can go back to the system where you actually own a piece of music. You download it, you own it. There you go. And that's also going to happen that's already working with the current marketplace, where you can download the file only if you own the NFT. And lastly, you also have our system that is still in development, but it's on its way. And that's for ARX, which is actually, Oscar, maybe you can talk about ARX a little.
Yeah, sure. So ARX stands for Artist Royalty Extracts, which means that any artist is able, through that software, to not only distribute their music to 150 different platforms, so your Spotify's, YouTube, and Amazon's, but also fragment and resell the royalties to their music. So that means that an artist could, for instance, sell 5% of their royalty rights and tokenize them into 5 different tokens. They can set their own price then. And every time the song gets played, the investor, of course, gets some of those royalty payouts. That's in a nutshell ARX. It's been it will be provided through an integration with an important partner of ours, a Music Gateway, which is a very fast growing distribution platform with over 300,000 users. So that's as far as that the product goes.
And we're talking now about the NFT Marketplace. That's one. The other one is staking, and this is to reward our investors into the Vinci token. The Vinci token is connected to everything we do, and every product we build, we have a specific use case to always find a way to connect it to the token, because this is how we feel like crypto companies should always work. They should find every product they have and connect it to the token they launched, if they have one. We have one, and we're looking to give a return on investment for the crypto community to invest. And the staking is one of the ways that they can gain additional benefits, obviously, by locking their tokens at a minimum for 2 weeks. They have to lock it, and they start getting rewards after 6 months, and then it reduces to 5, 4, 3, and every time they reach a checkpoint, they get the rewards. And those rewards are not just they're not just from pre-mint tokens. Okay, so what we're doing actually is we're taking 15% of whatever we sell on the marketplace, and we're getting Vinci from that and giving that to the stakers with a direct link, a direct transfer. So we're talking about a direct relationship between our products. And staking is the way for us to give back. And this product also, in the long run, will create a sustainable system for us to keep using the token, also to support the company in general long term. So we ourselves would eventually, as the tokens unlock, because we start having the tokens locked, a lot of the Vinci will be locked when we launch. But then over time, we get it and we put it in the staking program ourselves. And the rewards we get ourselves from it, we can use to finance our business. So we're just going to be in the same, we run our business cost on the same system that our investors are in to get a return on their investment. So this way, we are basically innovating and finding a way in which, in the modern world, crypto companies can use a peer-to-peer system, peer-to-peer money, cryptocurrency, to run their business fully. And this is something we are going to have with a guy with a PhD in economics. You can bet your ass that we're going to have good innovation on this front, good science on this front. And we're going to basically make a case study out of what we're doing, which we then can also communicate and transfer to our partners, which is part of the value we provide to the industry.
Okay, nice. So just hearing all that, I've got a few questions, and I'll just break it down more cleanly for the audience. So the platform is a selling of music in the form of NFTs, where an artist can come on, create NFTs, and assign royalties to their future revenue into those NFTs. So you can take part in an artist that you like, buy some of his or her or theirs, if they're a group, their NFT, and you'll get some kickback of their revenues, whatever it is they disclose. And that's basically how the platform would work in its simplest form.
These are separate utilities, and there's first of all, it's music, art, and events. With the music one, we have a utility called ARX, and that's for the sharing of royalties. For the other two, we don't have that system yet, However, there's always also unlockable files, which was one of the other utilities, and tickets, which is the third one. So
Cool.
there's
Okay.
3 utility types right now. And of course, we're looking to innovate. These are the 3 we start off with. We see the most market potential in that when we did our research. But as we keep analyzing the market, this startup is going to find its product market fit, and then we're going to be adjusting these utilities to make sure that we hit the jackpot with this business model.
Yeah, look, I think it's also important to mention the extra feature that we have is also obviously the physical context that we can provide within the NFTs. So say with an artist that someone would admire and have a fan base on, they would have maybe a limited edition vinyl that could be attached to the NFT. So that could be shipped off to whoever purchases the NFT as well, or some sort of merchandise with a signed T-shirt. Things like this, of course, can be added to the NFT as well if they're contractually.
But only to the primary sale. But of course, so of course, secondary sales on secondary markets would not contain that. The physical, but yes, on primary sale, we are willing. What we plan to do is that the crypto community is a cherished community, and for artists, you have to understand that the model of Spotify is that you basically have mass. The masses are paying very little and getting access to your content. With crypto, you're going more towards a model of what also has been described in some articles as the 1,000 true fans model, where you can have success as an artist. In any, art, music, in any creative pursuit, and as long as you find about 1,000 crypto-based or crypto-related fans that are willing to support you, and you give back to them, then you can use our technology and our brand to basically have real art go into the crypto community and find those 1,000 true fans and build your passion out into a profession. Right, so it's not just for big artists; it's also for small. But it's a curated platform, because the thing is, it's just like a museum, right? You can't make a museum and allow anybody to put any graffiti in there, right? You have to make sure that you select for quality, and that the context of where people find their art and find their artists that they like, that it's heavily filtered. You can't just accept everything. That's our vision on it, and this is also a way to prevent forgeries and prevent the kind of abuse that you currently see in public marketplaces. Although, again, I'm not willing to commit to that we're forever going to stay closed. We might create open variants of our software. Of course, it is easy to support. However, currently, again, this is how we're going into the market.
Okay, cool. So with regards to those more primary sales and those NFTs, that would almost work sort of like an experience where I want to go to, just to sort of break it down simply for me to understand, is that if I would, I could buy one of these NFTs, and it would be, say an artist is, I don't know, one of my favorite EDM guys was Avicii. Obviously, I know he's not alive now, but say Avicii was alive, he was doing a concert, and I was able to go there, buy one of these special NFTs, which was giving you, it could give you anything like backstage access. It could then drop a new release into your wallet after the event, and I might be able to receive a jumper, like an Avicii branded jumper, after the concert. Those are all the kind of utilities that can come with it.
That's right. You would basically have, still the wallet is anonymous, but at the moment where you want to receive your sweater, and we offer it if the artist wants, right? Because it all goes through the artist. This is why Alex and the culture team have very direct connections with these artists. We're constantly talking about, how we're doing this for them. We're their service provider. They're really the ones that connect to their fans. And if they want to send a sweater, and if people paid for the NFT, then they get a form on that they can submit, like send it to this address, right? And this is my name. So it's an opt-in situation. But yes, if you buy the NFT, we assume that you would want to opt in, but we don't force it onto people. You could also decide to resell that NFT, because the NFT is your ownership, and you could resell it. But as soon as you sell it, you don't have access to request any of these features anymore.
Yeah, no, understood. Okay, so if you provided a KYC service or something, to be able to receive my email and my address to send me the jumper, I didn't want to redeem it, and I sold that NFT, people would be able to see if that NFT is has had that function redeemed.
That's right.
Yet.
That's right. And
cool.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. You also alluded to the Vinci token, which runs your ecosystem, and 50% of the was it 50% of the revenues was paid
15.
15. Sorry.
The other 85% goes to the artist, by the way. So this is why
Yeah.
where you can see that we don't take a cut. We are just trying to connect directly the artist to their fans. And we also, the 15% is towards the Vinci stakers, meaning that's our investors. And that's where we get the money from to run this business. And of course, we ourselves will be committed to joining that staking program as soon as we can too, in order to directly be able to divert funds.
So your money effectively will be generated from a small cut, I assume, on primary sales, and then on staking, you'll stake your own personal tokens. Sorry, not personal, but team tokens into the staking pool, and you'll be, if you have 10% of that staking pool or 20% of that staking pool, you'll get 10% or 20% of the payout.
That's right. So we are equal to our investors in that sense. Like everybody gets, depending on how much Vinci they're staking, they get the value back, and or they get part of the revenue. But most of it goes to the artist, and 85% goes to the artist, and therefore, compared to a model like Spotify, you will need way less people. Again, the 1,000 true fans would be enough to finance yourself, depending on your lifestyle. But this is the idea, right? That you just enable blockchain to do new kinds of releases, but not just with ARX. It's even more special because usually when people get royalties from Spotify or whatever, right? These are very small amounts of money if you don't have enough listeners. But then again, over a long period of time, this does start to add up as quite a good amount of money. So if you're selling one of those tokens and you're promising the holder of the NFT to get a part of the percentage of that small amount each month, you can get a lump sum for that at the moment, right? So you're basically asking the crypto community, hey, who has the appetite for risk and or reward, right? Because again, if you turn out to have the next summer hit, then the owner of that NFT is going to be benefiting more from the huge amount of plays that's gonna have. And you're also benefiting from the marketing that happens within crypto, because everybody knows once people own an asset in crypto, any kind of currency or NFT, they are shilling it until the ends of the earth. And this is something that's very interesting for artists, of any kind of artist, that they want people to feel more connected to them. And this is also where we haven't even begun really exploring this field of how to increase the connections between the artists and the fans, because you have a way now to authenticate on any network, on any system. And if you have that NFT, you can, for instance, maybe vote on where the artist will tour next, or things like this, right? Because you have a very easily recognizable pseudo-anonymous way of showing that you are a true fan.
Yeah, so the way I see it, I'm obviously trying to think of it and talk in the sense that I would be a normal consumer buying one of these NFTs. And this is how, the consumer could, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but how the consumer could make money is that they would, say there's a new artist that's come out, he or she is not very well known. They come onto the Vinci platform and they want to mint and do sales royalties. And at this moment in time, they're a small artist. I might buy their NFT, giving me access to some of their royalties. Now, if they grow over the next 2 years' time and their royalties increase massively, that would, I would assume, increase the value of the NFT, because other people are going to want to buy it off me, knowing what it's going to generate them in royalties.
And not just generate, it's also a badge of honor. Like, it's also just simply a status symbol, because you're not going to have that many. And so because you're really showing that you are, you basically, you don't own the track, the artist still owns it, but the sales royalty part really shows that you are a true fan in that sense. Yeah. So that's also that benefit. But you're right. You, especially smaller artists, they could take larger percentages that actually become pretty substantial month over month, and actually resell it when the market really deems it a safe investment and increases the value of the NFT. Yes, of course, it's your property.
Okay, and that literally is the artist royalty extract program. That's ARX. That's the royalties being passed through.
That's right.
Yeah, no, that is a really nice idea.
Yeah, I mean, that's really one of the features that really shows like the epitome of the definition that you own part of the music, like you own part of the royalties.
Yeah.
We're quite proud that we're able to implement this feature.
Yeah, I would say that's probably the main selling point of the NFTs. No, because obviously a lot of crypto is very, at this moment in time, it isn't really true fans. Like, it would take a while for them to come on, I think. But
Actually, you'll be quite surprised because we find that it depends on the artist, but there are some younger artists, like I know Sandro Silva, who's gonna do a release on Vinci. We've already have him planned, and I mean his fans are massive crypto fanatics. So this really depends. Like there are already sub communities starting that are very much into peer-to-peer money. People, the lack of trust in the general financial system is also really fueling the rise. Now, I understand we are just entering one of the worst periods in crypto ever, so it might not look like it now. But of course, the crypto markets, when we're down, it's time to build, and when we go up again, the trust in the traditional financial systems have lowered too. We feel like this is exponentially growing amount of engagement, and there's going to be a lot of people that are looking to make either gains or show that they're true fans and really want to connect. And the artists as well, remember that they need new financial innovations, so they're also interested. So on both parties, really, we see interest. It's not that hard to get their attention at this point.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, even just from like a trader's point of view, like if I was interested in an artist and I could buy their NFT, it was going to come to $200, and I thought it would generate me $200 over the next 6 months to 8 months, 9 months, whatever it is, in royalties, and then that artist is much more popular and it potentially sells for $400. I've triple my money on that investment.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I definitely think that's great. I think that's perhaps. I don't know if you guys would agree, but definitely one of the key selling points.
Yes,
for this, for sure.
Absolutely. And again, but this is also, we don't want to close the door to general artists of art, right? Like, and we definitely see ourselves as a cultural platform. We don't want to close it off to anyone in particular, because to us it also feels very arbitrary, right? ARX is one of our most prized and also most difficult to set up systems. But the others are still valuable because you're trying to go to any artist and create a combination. Like, these NFTs are usually not just one utility. You usually want to add a combination of utilities, create a good package and a real experience, like you said. That's our goal, right? And so we are always looking, and we're talking to artists, and we're responding to what they wish to do with their fans. And so ARX is really kind of our own brainchild. But yes, when we go out there and we tell artists about this possibility, they absolutely love it, because you're really combining that kind of risk appetite and reward appetite that the crypto community has. And the artist is usually the complete opposite side. They really need the money, and then they can create another piece of music, or they want to finance that as well. They usually, a lot of artists, reinvest into their own venture and into making their name bigger very easily. So this is also what our partner Music Gateway has offered. They said, hey, this is actually brilliant to also offer it to artists as an automatic marketing fund, and to grow their own brand using ARX. So to use the hard money immediately as a reinvestment. And there's a lot of talk about this now among the artists.
Yeah, no, I definitely would agree with that.
I just want to add on to that as well, because like the conversations I've had with artists myself as well, generally with the type of value that they're trying to provide to their community, like this is already done on a more shallow level in terms of different types of unlockable features that they can have. Even in Patreon, they provide this type of feature. But of course, with the technology that we have, where it's a complete game changer that they have with the ARX, having full control of your royalties, and even having event opportunities besides that we would be able to facilitate with them.
There's also the level. There's also some news from labels which we thought was really interesting. Like, it's very hard to measure sometimes if an artist is successful or not, because also social media can be very fake. Followers can be very fake. But financial transactions don't lie, right? That's where bots usually don't spend even $1 per bot, because you would run out of money real quick. So the blockchain really enables you to start seeing who's your true fan, right? How many real fans do you have? What is their activity? What do they do financially? So even though it is pseudo-anonymous, it's also interesting that you can still recognize that value is being traded by specific wallets. And you can actually, the analysis you can do on the blockchain goes quite far. Now, this goes into a little bit of privacy concern, obviously, eventually, so that is dangerous, but people can still protect themselves if they know how. But the average user just uses one wallet, and they don't they don't care, right? So it's very easy now to start tracking and get some real data out of this, which is very interesting for labels and scouting and finding out whether there's potential in an artist.
Okay, cool. Just quickly moving on now to secondary sales. I have, just because obviously I've done sort of a deep dive on the project myself, and these are where the sort of the questions have derived from. You have secondary sales of NFTs. I have written down is 10%, and it's passed to the artist. Is that changeable? Could the artist say they only want to do 5%?
Yep, that's changeable on each collection they release.
Okay, great. You also have an app, I believe.
Yeah, well, Apple is still reviewing it at this point, but yes. And right now we are going to be putting in the NFT showcase there. So any NFT you bought, you can see in there, and you can see the staking statistics of your stake. And that one is being released, I believe, next week. Right now it's at the review of Apple. They already came back with our previous request. Yeah, we had to make some smaller changes, mostly to the description of it. But yeah, so it's on the way, and it's definitely a core aspect of what we want to deliver in the future, especially for our NFT ticketing. In fact, Alex, maybe we could talk a little bit about Aya Sound, because that one is going to involve also the app. So that's kind of an interesting segue.
Well, sure. I mean, we can just describe to you the process behind it. We're still knocking in some details with them, but basically the way it would work with any festival or events that we're partnered with is that when they are selling their NFTs as tickets, there will be some function that you're able to use within the app. And Luke, correct me if I'm wrong over here, but where you will have a QR code integrated into the NFT, and then when people are going to the event that we are partnered with, or even the artist is attending to, because that also might apply to an artist, for example, they will be able to scan the QR code in the NFT or in the app where you can show your NFT with the QR code and use that as a ticket or as an entry to the event that we're partnered with or where the artist is attending.
Okay, cool. Moving on now, I had the Picasso Club. Can you explain more to me about the Picasso Club?
Yes. So Picasso Club is a within our Vinci community, within the investors. If you've staked, it all depends on staking. If you've staked above, I believe it was $200, you enter the Picasso Club, and this is where we want to offer just additional benefits to the platform. And we're talking about specific playlists. We have music on the website. Additional playlists open up. We also want to, let's see, actually, oh, Oscar's back. Oscar, you should take this one because you're a Picasso guy.
Sure, yeah. So, sorry for that, my connection broke up there. Anyways, yeah, so the way I always describe Picasso Club is it's exactly on that, in that area where Vinci staking becomes attractive and becomes consumable, because if you look at staking, there's all kinds of really refined mechanisms in there that were built in by our advisor Nicholas, who's an OG crypto investor and really does his job very well. I would advise any serious investor to look into those mechanics and look into the white paper. So what I mean with consumable is there's also the music lovers, right, that we want to attract. So I mean, most of them have no idea what crypto means. So Picasso Club is really that part where staking and having a specific minimum amount of Vinci stake, where that leads to basically rewards. So it's basically like a loyalty reward program, where if you stake anything north of $200, then you get all these privileges. Now there's 5 different tiers depending on how much you stake, of course, and they gain access to exclusive music, NFT raffles, exclusive NFT access, and you name it. So it's really, it's really about rewarding the loyal Vinci holders, and more specifically stakers.
Okay, cool. Okay, sounds good. So I'm just moving on now to the sort of last 2 questions. The platform at this moment in time, you've had one artist come on so far. I don't know. I feel like you have partnerships with other artists, but in terms of actual sales, you've only done one set. You know, you're pretty new, so it's not a bad point. But you've had your first sale basically. And do you want to explain who the artist is, and then what you've got planned going forward, and how the sale did, obviously?
Yeah. So we sold out in about 24 hours. We sold about 140 NFTs. that's really it's really nice. Went a lot better than expected because of course it's there's a bearish sentiment currently. So that artist was
who was the artist.
Excuse me.
The artist that sold the NFT?
I was actually just about to say that, but sure. The name is Todd Terry, and Todd Terry is basically like one of the godfathers of house music, and therefore one of the like kind of front leaders in electronic music itself, because of course house music was the first electronic dance music type, and so he has so many tracks under his belt, so many releases. He's been a Grammy nominee, has a really extensive career in music. So it was an honor to have worked with him. I think so the next one is going to be Peter Steenbeck, which is actually not a music artist. He's just he's more of a creative artist in general. He's done a lot of
and by the way, I just want to mention that. I do want to mention that Todd Terry did create an exclusive track that was only available if you bought the NFT. And then we also had a superior level NFT, which also enables you to go to his event in Amsterdam this summer, Amsterdam Dance Event. And so there's tickets for that. And also you got an additional mix that Todd made for those special fans that bought that superior NFT. So we had 125 of the regular ones, premium, and then 15 of the superior. So this was just the model initially we started off with. And every artist has a different requirement. Like you said, they come in, that we work with them, we give them advice, we try to onboard them, because this is the thing, right? Blockchain does not have a helpline. Not for businesses, not for users, and we're going to be helping them that they understand what NFTs are, how they work, what utility there is, how to sell them, etc., etc. So we're going to be helping businesses, or helping artists and fans. And Todd Terry was one of the first to work with us to get this done, and we have many more in the pipeline now. We've had our entire schedule for the upcoming months has been set, and over time we're going to be increasing the amount of releases we do. For now, we're taking it very easy. I believe once every 2 weeks, so that we have enough time to reflect and to adjust and to start again. And we're just happy to have started this project. These release cycles last week. Yeah,
and your second one is, I believe, July 7th. Just from doing my homework.
That's right. July 6th, actually,
Right.
for the early access. So we're signed up on the waiting list, which you can still do on the website, by the way, by Vinci.io.
Okay, excellent. Okay, that's all the questions for me. With regards posting that last link you just said, when we post this in our community, I'll make sure the link is posted. That way, the guys can basically access it much easier. And I'll post all the other links as well.
Great. There's maybe I think there's some important additional information to give here. So we have such a wide range of products that we're launching, and like the NFT Marketplace, that's quite a crucial part here. It's also like a marketing tool. Obviously, like the revenue coming through the marketplace is going to be 15% of that is going to be leveraged to the benefit of all Vinci stakers. At the same time, we're also offering white label solutions. So we're in talks right now with actually one of the biggest music labels in the Netherlands. They're for a large part owned by Universal Music. So it's more than just simply the marketplace itself. It's also generating revenue for the stakers and for us. But at the same time, we're also going to resell this technology, and that's because of another quite unique aspect that we have. And that is that we have in-house tech. Now, this man sitting in this chat is basically responsible for about 90% of all that code, turning coffee into code, as they say. And that's just a very important side note. We're very proud of our tech. All of our software is proprietary. We do not rely on any external parties for generating our software, and that's also why we.
Whoa. Think he's cut outside.
That sounded like a good concluding statement.
It was good. Yeah. It was good.
I was going to say, so everything is done in house, which is obviously
that's right. That's right. Everything is done in house. The blockchain contracts are done in house. The only thing not done in house is the auditing, of course, because you need an independent third party to audit your software in order for blockchain users to trust it, which makes sense. And yeah, the reason we want all of that in-house, yes, it is costly, right? We are quite serious engineers. We're not like, you know, in a cheap country and doing everything offshore. We're doing it in-house. And it also, there's an education part to that, right? We get juniors in, which we train for the long term. But we think that this is the right way to run a business, because in the end, we are the technology partner for not just these artists, but also the bigger businesses. You're already hearing labels, Warner Music. These guys won't accept low quality software. So that's why we're starting small and we're building something from the ground up, step by step. And we have a team that is very motivated. I've never heard our blockchain developer is so passionate about the project itself that he always gives a lot of product feedback, right? And the same thing goes for me. And in fact, same thing with our design team, right? Also completely in-house. So we really believe developing is something that has to be done with passion. And when you see that that's not the case, in fact, I've even had conversations with people that, you know, of course, wanted to come in as externals, and you just see that they lack the passion, and then we can't have them here, because this software really requires dedication and also requires crunch time. I didn't sleep for 36 hours before the marketplace launched, right? Like I had to push, and this is the kind of dedication you're going to need from a team. Also because we're not in a proven model. You understand? Like, we are a startup, so a startup always has to find their fit, and the people that get to learn about us in conversations like these, you have to understand that you're very early. And in fact, you're so early that we've just replaced our CEO with Toby. And Toby, again, is also one of those early birds that you know, with a PhD economics, he looks at this and thinks, wait, you know, peer-to-peer currency is the way forward. So he's no longer working at Tesla; he's working at Vinci, and that is an incredible step to take, and of course a real bet. But we hear from multiple partners and investors that they see something in us, and we see it too, and our team feels it. Now, the only downside currently would be the bear market, but that's only the downside in terms of sentiment, because anyone who actually understands trading and understands how these projects work, this is the time to build. This is the time where you prepare yourself for the next rise, as long as you think that there's a future in crypto. And let there be no doubt, we all believe that there is always going to be a future for crypto. It is almost in my mind, an undeniable fact that this technology provides a real value, because we can see with Vinci beyond the financial tools. It is really about a new technology, decentralized databases. How do we use them, right? They didn't exist before. Now they exist. What do you do with them? And we think that the block space is going to become more and more valuable. And that's the future we see. That's what our investors see, and everyone who works with us at this stage.
Yeah, excellent. No, I definitely agree. I just know, touching on 2 points. I was here in 2018 trading crypto, and you know, that was a harder bear market than this one. So if we were able to get out of that one, and I mean, that was really painful. That was a shocker. Maybe just because I wasn't very good at trading back then, so it really hurt my pocket a lot more. But yeah, it was just a hard year and a half. But let's go into the second point. I notice now that a lot of the big, you know, sort of general normal finance CEOs, CIOs are starting to consider moving across into Web3. So they, you know, these aren't silly people. They're obviously like extremely smart individuals. They're obviously seeing that this is it's the place to move across. I think the Billboard CEO moved across to Doodles or something like this. I can't remember what NFT projects it was. It was one of like the blue chip ones. But you know, it's things like that. It's the story you guys have with your new CEO. It's all that kind of stuff that, you know, we've seen crypto come through 4 or 5 bear markets now. So I wouldn't put 100% on anything, but this would be one of the things I would basically put 100% on, is that crypto and will come back. So
yeah, but the thing is,
point.
Sorry, sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted to say it's an excellent point, because I think especially for the newcomers, like this being their first rodeo, as they say, you know, it's super scary what happens. But what always fascinates me is that people, when they speak about fiat versus crypto, then they go like, oh, crypto is so risky. But if you look at how fiat has been performing, yes, you know, it's basically always in steady decline. And because everything is expressed in fiat, people have this idea that that fiat is safe and is better. But even though you have this super high volatility, the truth is that in the long run, crypto is still outperforming fiat by far. So yeah, it's a very interesting kind of topic. I think we can talk about that for a few more hours. But yeah,
I haven't got the schedule today to go through that kind of podcast.
But this is the thing, though, that I think for now you have obviously an interest in trading, and you understand the markets and crypto in that sense, and I think quite a lot of people do it, very financial oriented. What Vinci is doing is we're looking at the financial aspects too, because we commercialize certain art and stuff, but it's also about changing the way that artists interact with their fans, and that is very different. So the artists, the fans themselves, they don't need to care about financial markets. Like, that is not required, and they can trade with USDC, some stable coin, right? Like they can take that instead, and they don't have to join the volatility. They don't have to look at it that way. They can just buy a ticket, get some art, get a premium experience, and that is what we're looking at, because it is our goal now to prepare this crypto universe for a huge influx of people that don't care at all about a line going up or down. And that is a very unique experience. In fact, if I look at all the apps out there, I bet you, not like, from what I've seen, 90% are just some form of financial related, purely financial, nothing else, right? Like get gains, right? Like that's it. And we don't believe in that. We think, I mean, of course we believe in it as a core, that it should be there, but we don't believe it's our position to be competing with those groups. We are a different group. We're trying to do a different thing, and we're looking at Web3 in general as a tool, not just a financial staking. We have the staking, right? We have some of these things. We feel like this is a must.
The users.
Sorry?
That's to reward the users. It's not.
It
It's
has
not
to
a
reward users.
financial element. It's more just It's just a sort of an added feature almost.
Yeah, well, and but it is still, even though it's an added feature, it is still the foundation, because every product we build and everything we do, we tie back into that token, and we tie back into that finance, and we devise ourselves. And this is the thing, right? We are a case study, right? We are making out of ourselves a case study that we can then lay in front of artists themselves, right? Hey, if you want to finance yourself in a similar way, you can now do that this way. And we've learned lessons along the way, and not just from our own experience, but the people we have in this team, just like you, they've been through this rodeo, and they've seen companies come and go. And we're learning how this technology is supposed to be used, how these markets are supposed to be used. And in the end, you end up with a system where there is no federal bank, there is no IMF, there is no, you're looking at a completely different system, an innovative system, and there's so many lessons still to learn. There's so much software still to write, and that's why we're in this space. And all we need to do is make sure we keep our integrity, and we write the software really well, and we find the market fit, and then eventually, the popularity of crypto will be in our favor. And even during moments like this, where there's a lot of bad news is still news. So it's really still exponentially growing the awareness of crypto.
Definitely. I definitely agree with that. Is there anything else you guys want to add with regards to the product? I don't think so. A lot. Sorry, go on, Oscar.
No, I just said I don't think so, no.
Okay, cool. Excellent. But yeah, so I think we'll wrap up the AMA there. I've enjoyed listening to more and getting more questions answered. So hopefully I'll be able to put this in the give it out to the community and see what their thoughts are, and they'll get sort of well acquainted with the project.
Yeah, do
great. Thank you so much for having us.
We'd love to hear the feedback as well from CryptoExplorer, the community.
Please.
That is.
Most definitely. Yeah, that's it. Thanks, guys.
Sounds great. Thanks.
Perfect.
Likewise.
Right. Thank you, Jack.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.